Hey there, Icarus and Springfield Echelon enthusiasts. Dan here from Icarus Precision, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to install the Echelon Central Operating Group into the Icarus module. Let's do it. If you've ever played around with a SIG P320 before, this setup might look a little familiar to you. But even if you have, there are some subtle differences and tricks to fitting the COG into our grip module comparatively. And if you've never installed the 320 before, no worries, because we're still going to cover how to do it with the Echelon right now. As is always, first and most important, we're going to make sure that the firearm is clear and safe. All right, clear and safe. Now let's lock the slide to the rear. We can then rotate the takedown lever clockwise until it's in the vertical position. And while maintaining control of the slide, release the slide catch and pull the slide off of the front. Next, we'll remove the takedown lever. I find it helps to hold the grip in your right hand and use your index finger to push on the right side of the lever while your left hand pulls and rotates from the left side. If the takedown lever gets caught up on the trigger bar, just gently rotate it while providing some pressure, and it will eventually push the trigger bar out of the way and come out. To remove the COG, lift up on the slide catch levers and press forward. Once it moves a little bit, pull the trigger, and then you should be able to remove the COG from the back. There it goes. So slides forward, pull the trigger, and now it lifts up from the rear. You might need to wiggle it a little bit, but it comes out hooking from the front. All right. To remove the magazine release, we simply need a punch. The changeable back straps that come with your Echelon actually have a punch on them as well if you don't have your own set of punches. You can use an armorer's bench block if desired. And all we're going to do is lightly tap or push out on this pin. And then the spring, locking mechanism, and the button all pop out. And actually our pin is right here. Hasn't fully come out yet, but there we go. So now we can save all of these. All right. And our module is disassembled, so we can set this off to the side. We're now going to start installing everything into our Icarus module. Now, I recommend starting with the mag release as it's easier to access without the COG installed. We're going to place the spring into the recessed area in the module, then place the button through the side of the module, and then the locking mechanism on top of the spring between the center of the button. We're going to press in until those holes line up where we can stick the pin through. But if it's connected already, like you can see that this spring is already connected still to our locking mechanism, you can just set this in the same way you would if they were separate components, making sure that gravity doesn't drop it out. Insert your mag button. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure nothing falls out, and we're going to press down on this locking mechanism until the holes line up in the module. Then we're going to take our pin and start inserting it through. And this didn't require any force to press in. Yours might require a little bit of light tapping, but once it's in, we're just going to press on this mag release from both sides and make sure that that locking mechanism is rotating. So now the magazine release is installed, and we're going to install the COG. Start by placing the front of the COG into the module in these recessed grooves. So the trigger goes down the hole, the front of the module goes into these recessed grooves, and then we're going to start pressing down on the back of the COG. Now at this point you're probably going to feel some pressure, because what we need to do is, while putting a little down pressure, we're going to pull that trigger, and you'll see that that COG will just sit right down in that module. Now, if this is your first installation of the COG into the Icarus module, it may be very tight. This is normal. Once the COG is fully lowered into the module, use a hard surface like a table to press down on the front of the COG. It can take a solid amount of pressure and you'll feel the COG slide into place. You'll know it's seated properly when the takedown lever holes line up. It also helps to maintain pressure down onto this back of this module. I'm going to push down on that, get on the front here, and right there. We felt it slide into place, and now our takedown lever hole is lined up. To install the takedown lever, begin by inserting the lever in the vertically open position so that the angled cut on the lever is facing the trigger bar linkage. Lightly rotate back and forth while providing pressure, and it'll pop in. All right. Now we're going to try to line up the takedown lever with the opposite hole to the point where it's just starting to align. Right there. So we're just starting to align. Now we're going to rotate around the thumb ledge clockwise back to that horizontal position. And you should simply be able to press it in. Now we rotate it back into the open position to put on the slide. Take the slide, line up the grooves on the back of the slide with the COG and smoothly from all the way back and push up on that slide catch to lock the slide to the rear. We're then simply going to rotate this takedown lever back into that horizontal position. We can release our slide, and now we're ready for the final part, which is the function check. Snap caps are helpful for this, but you can still check the function without them. We'll take a magazine with a few snap caps in it and seat it into the magazine, making sure it's correctly locking into place. Rack the slide and a snap cap should chamber. First, attempt to pull the trigger without actuating the trigger safety. It should not fire. Now pull the trigger normally and you should hear the audible click of the firing mechanism. While holding the trigger to the rear, rack the slide and the first snap cap should eject and the next one should properly chamber. Now release the trigger and you should hear an audible click of the trigger resetting. Continue this until the last snap cap is ejected and the slide should automatically lock to the rear. Then eject the magazine, making sure it comes out easily. If all of this worked correctly, you're all set. If anything is not working correctly, you may need to go back and troubleshoot where something may be installed incorrectly or damaged. Or you can take it to a professional gunsmith at that point. And there we have it, how to install the Icarus Precision grip module for the Springfield Echelon. If you have any questions about this module or any of our other products, please feel free to reach out to info@icarusprecision.com. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can get notified when future videos are released. Also be sure to check out our other social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're looking for insider information on when restocks and product drops are happening, go ahead and sign up to subscribe through the link at the top of our website or at the link in the description below. Now, what will you build to make sure that the deck is stacked?